Good morning, everybody. So we went on vacation like a week ago, and it was lovely and long, and we got some beautiful sun. And on the way back, we went down to Florida, and on the way back, we went through Alabama, and we stopped at a farm stand. And it was so cool. There was like an inside and there was an outside. The outside had all their fresh vegetables that they had just farmed. And inside was more of like a restaurant area. I wouldn't call it like a restaurant, I call it like a deli, I guess, kind of a deli-ish thing. And I got some fresh peaches, fresh from their peach trees, I guess. And also some strawberry cider. So I got that stuff and I'm in need of to can it. So I thought I'd show you guys how I can peaches. And I don't think I showed you the strawberry cider. But anyway, so I filmed this video a couple days ago and I hope you guys like it and I hope you get something out of it. So here we go. Let's can some delicious peaches. Peaches from Georgia. And then there's the pits and everything. Here's them cut up. But what we do is we go from here and I score the bottom of my peaches. So I just take a knife and I put an X in the bottom. Kind of like what you do with tomatoes. And then I go from here and I've got 2 pots boiling with water, and then I boil them in the water for a few minutes until their skin starts to peel away and it's easy for me to take off. I plop in some cold water. Normally there's ice in here, but it's all melted now, but it's still cold. Cold water, let them cool in this for a few minutes. Then I come over here and I pull off all the skin, throw it in my trash bucket, and then cut the core, throw the core in the trash bucket, and then I just have mine, or quarter them, whatever, and put them in this because I like to cook down my peaches before I can them, just because I feel like you get more peaches in the can. But anyway, so that's kind of the process of starting getting your peaches canned. So this is the book that I use to can. It's the Ball Home Preserving book. It's one of the books Justin got me, and I always used approved recipes whenever I can, always, just to be on the safe side. It's got charts in here, it's got everything. So this is the one that I'm using. I'm using the peaches and syrup, and I'm gonna do the hot pack method down here of how I do my peaches, and also gives you syrup recipes, or if you don't want to use syrup, light syrup, heavy syrup, whatever you can ever dream about packing fruit in. So yeah, this is my recipe book that I use and am using today for my peaches. All the peaches are cut up and roasting on the stove. I'm going to do the hot pack method. I've got some water boiling back here in case I need a little extra water in my jars. And that's where we're at. Okay, so what's cool about this book is that it talks about altitudes. And if you're over 1,000 feet in altitude where you live, then you need to adjust your canning time. So where we used to live, I used to have to adjust my canning time by 5 minutes. But now, because Knoxville is only at 886 feet, I don't have to adjust my canning time. I just have to go with what the book recipe says. I don't have to adjust my time at all. But whenever you're canning, you always want to make sure you look at your altitude and find a chart in your book that'll tell you how much time you need to increase your boiling time for your cans. I run my jars through a quick rinse cycle on the dishwasher to get them hot and clean and sterilized. Okay, so on these peaches, per the directions, we needed a 1/2 inch headspace. So on this little tool, they have these little stair steps. This second stair step right here where my pinky's touching is the 1/2 inch headspace. So you put that on your jar and you run it around the edge and make sure that your liquid is not touching it. And if it's not, then that's enough headspace. You want it to be like at the 1/2 inch, but you don't want it to touch the 1/2 inch, but it's important to monitor your headspace, okay? If it says a 1/2 inch, make it a 1/2 inch. Don't make it an inch headspace. The headspace matters with the preservation, so you need to follow the instructions correctly. And then this end, you take and you just rub around the edges of the jar and even in the center, and it gets rid of the air bubbles that can be on the sides of the jar. So you want to get rid of all the air and everything inside of it, and that just gets rid of any chance that there's bacteria that can grow in that air in the jar. So you run this around the edges and kind of in the center of everyone and make sure you have the proper headspace. Then I'm going to come around and I'm going to take my cloth and I'm just going to clean the edges of the jar completely around the edges and make sure that it's completely clean so that you can get a good seal. And then I'm gonna put the twist caps on at fingertip tightness, and then I will put them over in my canner and process them for 25 minutes. Here are the peaches, all done. So we got 8 here that are completely canned. All of them popped. None of their centers are bulging. I have one in the fridge, but look at how pretty they are. So these ones I did as a hot pack. Last time I did them, I actually think I did them as a cold pack, but I don't have as much. See if you can see it. At the bottom here, do you see how there's only a little bit of juice? Last time when I did peaches, I did a cold pack and I had way more juice. I probably had this much juice compared to like this much peach. So I'm actually pleased with the amount of peaches that are in each one of these jars. So yeah, looking awesome. Another pantry staple there. Done. Peaches done. The kids love them. I kept 1 can out because it wasn't a full jar. And when that happens, I normally just keep it out and put it in the fridge. So I did that. And then I also kept 4 fresh peaches out so that the kids could just eat them fresh. So, but yeah, so now we have some fresh peaches on the shelf. And I'm sorry that I haven't put up very many videos this last like 2 weeks. It's just been crazy. And sometimes it's just hard to film a bunch of videos and edit and put them up with everything else that needs to be done. So, but I am gonna need to start my fall seeds
So that could be another video, and maybe I'll show you guys a couple things that we've done around the garden and how things are growing, what isn't growing well, what I'm not having success with. So yeah, I'll show you all those things. But anyway, not today. Today, other things are happening. So anyway, all right. As always, I hope you have a great day, no matter where you are.